Hello, and welcome to this edition of Spittin' Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar, and I'm coming at you from the 256. And we will be going over the MLB All-Star Game. Also, as the game progressed last night, Manny Machado has been traded, pending. All kinds of things can happen. Also, we'll be talking about the Open Championship, and we will also be discussing the Camping World Truck Series at Eldora, the truck race that will be held tonight as well. But first, we'll get into the MLB All-Star Game. It was the 89th overall game in the American League One, in 10 innings for the sixth straight year. I believe it was the sixth straight year that the American League won the All-Star Game. Winning pitcher was Edwin Diaz of the Mariners. Losing pitcher was Ross Stripling of the Dodgers, and the save was made by J.A. Happ of the Blue Jays. I'm just going to get right into it, go through the scoring, so we can get through this thing. The scoring was kicked off in the top of the second by Aaron Judge. He had a leadoff. He led off the inning with a home run, and then again the American League went yard. Mike Trout hit a home run in the top of the third. In the bottom of the third, the National League finally got on the board with Wilson Contreras. He hit a home run of his own to make it 2-1 American League, and then you had a long stretch of no offense whatsoever. But in the bottom of the seventh, Trevor Story of the Rockies finally tied the game up for the National League 2-2. But then turned right around in the top of the eighth. Gene Segura hit a 3-run home run, drove in Sin-Soo Choo and George Springer to make the game 5-2. But in the bottom of the eighth, the National League they got a run back. Christian Yelich of the Milwaukee Brewers, he hit a home run himself. In the bottom of the ninth, had a little bit of excitement. All name team, Scooter Gennett, leading candidate for that team, of course. He hit a 2-run home run, drove in himself, obviously, and JT Realmuto, however you would like to say it, Muto, to tie the game at 5 apiece. And then, of course, they went on to the 10th inning. They went on to the 10th inning, and two Astros to lead off the inning went back-to-back. Alex Bregman, he hit a home run to make the game 6-5. Then his teammate on the Astros, George Springer, he hit a home run of his own to make it 7-5. And then Michael Brantley ended up hitting a sacrifice fly that drove in Gene Segura to make the score 8-5. But then in the bottom of the 10th, Votto, they decided to turn the 10th inning, basically the whole game, but the 10th inning into another version of the home run derby. Joey Votto, he led off the inning for the National League with a home run, but Lorenzo Cain was the last-ditch effort for the National League, and he ended up popping out to end the game. In the American League, won 8-6 in 10 innings. The MVP of the game was Alex Bregman. He won the Chevy All-Star Game MVP, and of course, he got for anybody that watched, he got to choose between a decked-out Chevy truck and I think it was a Camaro SS, and I don't remember. I think it was the version of the Colorado that you can get the most bells and whistles for. And he said himself, he talked to his parents, and they said his dad wanted the truck and his mom wanted the Camaro, so he ended up choosing mom's side and taking the Camaro after he won the MVP. But just a quick stat about the game: 10 total home runs. They were out there trying to have a home run derby again. I would have liked to get more into the pitching, but you know how the pitching goes, and the players, they're constantly changing in players because it's the All-Star game. Give everybody that made it a chance to be on the field. So it was a pitching change every inning almost, basically. I think Scherzer actually went 2. Chris Sale only went 1. Those were the All-Star game starters. But it was every inning just about new pitcher, which is they all made the All-Star team try to give everybody a chance. But something I noticed I'd never seen before was the in-game interviews. They had at one point Matt Kemp and I saw Bryce Harper. I didn't get to watch the entire game. I did get to see when they had a microphone on Bryce Harper while he was in the field, out in center field, and of course Kemp in left. They had a microphone on them and were talking to them while they were in the field. It was pretty cool. I think they should do more of that. I know the first at bat, Mookie Betts, they had somebody on the field interviewing him as he's walking to the box. It was really cool. I wish they would do more of that because it is fun. It does. I believe they still winner, whichever league wins, they win home field advantage for the World Series. So it still does carry some weight, but I would like to see more stuff like that because that's pretty cool. Manny Machado, during the game, I think it was right before or right after it started, Machado is going to the Dodgers. Obviously, anything can happen. We've seen it happen several times where trade's done, so and so's going here. Oh, well, that didn't happen. So, but it looks like he will be going to the Dodgers, but we will cover that more in depth when it is official and it has gone through. We'll talk about who they sent away, and of course, the Dodgers. If they get Machado, it's they looks like they'll be right back where they were last year. But we'll move on. Open Championship starts tomorrow, but it is in Scotland, so the times will be really weird. And I want to go ahead and say tomorrow, when I talk about it, it's going to be very slim because when I record these, they will be in the middle of playing or starting to play, and I don't want to give anything away. I guess I know everybody probably checked the leaderboards if you're really a golf fan, stuff like that. But we'll just lightly touch on it because I'm going to go over touch on the favorites and tee times of the bigger names and who some of the bigger names that got grouped together or higher ranking players that got grouped together. But we'll start with last year's champion Jordan Spieth. He won at Royal Birkdale. He beat Matt Kuchar by 3 strokes. But this year it's at Now, forgive me if I get this wrong, because I tried to look it up and I believe that this is how it's supposed to be said. But Carnoustie, I believe that's how it is. If I pronounce it wrong, sorry. Don't chop my head off about it. I apologize. But Carnoustie, the champion course, and the favorite is of course world number 1 Dustin Johnson, and then it's just a mix behind him, and some of the names right behind him. I'll just mention some of those, but Dustin Johnson is the favorite, the outright favorite. These other ones, they are same odds or just a little bit behind each other, but it goes. The next 2 in line were Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, Justin Rose, Jordan Spieth, of course, defending champ. They will always be up there, but Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, and Tommy Fleetwood, to say a few. But some of the big names and feature groups it's not really feature groups because I didn't include any main groups because they didn't put like Phil and Tiger with Dustin Johnson or something like that they did here a few weeks ago. But Phil, I believe he is the first of the big names anyway to tee off. He tees off at 3:03 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Also, all these times are Eastern and they all are a.m. And this is for Thursday. I'll mention the times. I need to remind myself. I will mention the times that they will tee off Friday tomorrow. But like I said, I can't cover any leaderboard stuff because they will be in the middle of playing. And when I record these, not everybody will be done. And it's forever changing. Golf is forever changing until you get to the weekend. And then it's a little bit more set unless craziness happens. But Phil is the first to tee off at 3:03 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday tomorrow. Next in line that I had was Justin Rose. He is currently the world number 4, and Jordan Spieth are playing together. They tee off at 4:58 Eastern time. The next one that I had, John Rahm. This is 2 top 20 players. John Rahm and Ricky Fowler are playing together. They tee off at 5:09 a.m. And then I guess as far as names go, this was probably three of the closer ones marked together and bigger names anyway. Louis Oosthuizen, he's 75. I think that's how I've always said it. That's how I've always heard it, to me anyway. Paul Casey and Patrick Reed, they all tee off at 5:20 together. Henrik Stenson, Tommy Fleetwood, and then Jimmy Walker. He's the world 53. He's ranked 53rd. They are teeing off at 7:31 a.m. So getting into some more reasonable times for everybody. Rory and Mark Leishman are together. They tee off at 5:53. Dustin Johnson, of course, he's the world number one, so got to mention him. He tees off at 8:04. Justin Thomas, he's the only real notable one in his group, depending on who you're a fan of, I guess. But he's the world number two. He tees off at 8:26. He tees off at 8:26. Bryson DeChambeau, he won. Was it Arnold's tournament? Or I apologize. I just forget. It's not Arnold Palmer, was it? But anyway, it wasn't too long ago, and he won. It was his second career win, I believe. He tees off at 10:10, and again, the last major winner, Brooks Koepka, he tees off at 9:59, and he's playing with Ian Poulter, not a name we hear up there quite as often, but he's still ranked in the top 40. They tee off at 9:59, and then of course Tiger Woods. Everybody wants to know what Tiger Woods is doing, whether they like him or don't like him. They're always keeping track of him. He tees off at 10:21. As far as my prediction goes, I think it's time for Justin Thomas to finally have pick up another major win. Finally have another breakthrough. Keep adding to his trophy case and building his legacy, however you want to say it. But Justin Thomas is my pick for the weekend. Go ahead and write in the comments who you got, who you want to see do well this weekend. And if there's anybody specific that some of you want me to mention, you can go ahead and put those names down as well. If I missed something, I apologize for it. Put it in the comments. I'll try to look and mention it. I apologize. We're not all perfect. I can't remember everything. Can't find everything all the time. But Justin Thomas is my winner for the weekend. But it wouldn't hurt my feelings to see Tiger Woods win. It would just be craziness to actually see him win. But Justin Thomas, voice crack. Justin Thomas for me anyway. And then lastly, I want to talk about I know a lot of people are not NASCAR fans. Not a lot of people care, but it's a sport that I've always loved and that I grew up watching. Always grew up around racing, going to the racetrack on Friday nights, stuff like that. But not tomorrow. I'm still stuck on the golf. The golf's tomorrow. But tonight, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, they are having the Eldora Dirt Derby. That's what it's called now. Started in 2016. Used to be the Mud Summer Classic, but it is now the Eldora Dirt Derby. Tongue twister. Eldora Dirt Derby. Anyway, this is the only NASCAR sanctioned event held on dirt, and this began back in 2013. Yes, 2013 in July. It's held in July has been held in July every year since 2013. I'm just going to go over the quick format, and then I'll give you the schedule for tomorrow. And the format is as follows. To determine the starting lineups for the feature race or the main event, whatever you want to say, there are 5 qualifying races, 10 laps each, and the top 5 drivers from each race automatically qualifies for the main event. But the qualifying positions for the qualifying races are actually determined by each driver gets a solo run, 2 laps apiece, and then depending on their time, they are put into one of these 5 races, and it determines their starting position and the race and all that stuff. And then they race the 5 races. The 5, but like I said, 5 drivers come from each race, so that's 25. There's 32 total drivers now in it that race in the main event. 25 drivers come from placing in the top 5 in those 5 qualifying races. They also have a last chance qualifier, which is 15 laps, and the top 2 drivers automatically they qualify for the main event. They move on. Position. I wish it was more race based, but they try to keep people that are actually in the points in the race. So they do. Positions 28 through 31 are given to the highest ranking trucks in the owner points, drivers in the owner, trucks in the owner points, because it's not dependent on the driver, it's dependent on the truck itself. But 28 through 31 picks of the cars that haven't already qualified. It picks the highest ranking trucks in owner points that haven't already qualified for the main event. That's 28 through 31. And then the last position can't even speak. The last position is determined, is given to the most recent eligible series champion. So say, who won it last year? Well, let's just say Matt Crafton, because he's been a truck driver for years, and I think he won 3 championships in a row or something like that. But let's say Matt Crafton doesn't qualify. Look, we'll just say he didn't win the championship last year, but this is an example. Let's say he didn't win. He did not qualify in those top in any of those ways that were given, and he still hasn't qualified. He would win that. He would be given that 32nd position. I know I'm running circles here. I apologize, but he would be given the 32nd position because he would be the most recent winner that did not qualify in one of those formats already given. But main event, it starts. It's held last, obviously. The feature, main event, whatever you want to say, is divided into 3 stages of 40, 50, and 60 laps for a total of 150. After the first 40, they will throw a caution, and drivers will be allowed to pit, change tires, do whatever they need to do if they have damage, stuff like that. Then at lap 90, after the next 50 laps, lap 90, a caution will be thrown. Same thing, pit stops, fix anything that needs to be fixed without going down a lap, and everybody lines back up where they were. And then the final 60 laps are ran to determine who the winner is. And Matt Crafton was in my mind because he won this race last year. So another little tidbit is the trucks are made of 3 manufacturers: Toyota, Chevy, and Ford. Ford has never won. Chevy and Toyota are the only ones to win, and Toyota's won 3, Chevy's won 2. But the schedule for tomorrow goes as follows. All times are Eastern, and everything will be shown on Fox Sports 1 at 4:30 p.m. Individual qualifying will begin, where each driver gets a run by themselves on the track to determine their position for the qualifying race. 7 p.m. the qualifying races will begin. These are all rough because it could run over, could run a little fast. If it runs faster, they won't start until these times. But if it runs over, then so be it. 8:15 will be the LCQ last chance qualifying race. And then 9 o'clock Eastern time will be the Eldora Dirt Derby, the main event. So I look forward to that. I know a lot of people aren't race fans, but I'm a huge race fan. I look forward to that. I look forward to the Open Championship starting. Majors are always fun. The details of the Machado trade. I look forward to that. But tomorrow we will recap. I'll touch on the Eldora Dirt Derby. I won't spend too much time on it because I know a lot of people aren't huge race fans, but I will talk about it for a short time period. more on the Manny Machado trade, like I just said. More on the Manny Machado trade once it has gone once it's finalized, whatever you want to say. We'll talk about what was given up, what was in return, what you know what I'm saying. Who who the Dodgers sent there and what the Orioles sent other than Machado, if they sent anything other than Machado. Once it is finalized, I will touch again, like I said, on the Open Championship with start times for Friday. Obviously, I won't have any leaderboard updates, but I will have on Friday. I'll have leaderboard updates, obviously, of the first round. Oh, I forgot this. We will also touch. We will also have some second half predictions for the second half of the MLB season. Sorry, second half of the MLB season predictions. Just a few things like maybe who's going to win divisions, who's going to win wild cards. Maybe MVP races for each league, Cy Young, things of that sort. But we'll just see how it goes tomorrow. I believe that's everything. But no, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Share with whoever you'd like, however you see fit. So go ahead and subscribe too. But don't forget, if you subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell right next to the subscribe button. It'll let you know whenever I upload, so you can go ahead and watch it, get it out of the way, enjoy it, watch it and enjoy it, whatever you want to do with it, or ignore it, however you want to go about that. But I believe that's everything for this edition of Spittin' Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar, and I look forward to talking to you all again tomorrow. I'll see y'all later.